create like const handle create movie. It's going to be asynchronous function, async function. And now let me just add my arrow function inside there. We're going to be also attaching the try and catch block, but we have to check for a lot of different things. So I'm going to just remove that and hit enter right here. And now let me just place it right here. So first of all, we are checking if we don't have the movie name, the year, detail, the cast, or the selected movie. So what do you want to do in that case? We're going to be just finding the toast. So we would just say like toast.error, and we would just say like please fill all required fields. Okay, so then we're going to be just returning that. And if that's not the case, let me just save that. If that's not the case, what do you want to do? We're going to be creating a variable with the name of like uploaded, uploaded, uploaded image path, and it's going to be currently set to no. Okay, and now the next thing which you want to do is that we want to check if the movie is selected or if you have the selected image. So what do you want to do in that case? We're going to be just creating our form data. It's going to be a new form data. Okay, and this is a constructor, and now we have to append data inside this form. So we're going to be using our form data, not this one but form data, and we're going to be appending our image first of all, and the image will be this selected image. So now underneath that, we're going to be just making another variable, so which will be upload image response, and it's going to be equals to the response, there we go, and it's going to be equals to await and then upload image. And now let me just provide a form data inside there. Okay, so now underneath there, we're going to be just checking that if we have the upload image response. Let me just even copy that from here, and now let me just place it right here. So if we have the upload image response and then we have a data inside there, so what do you want to do in there? We're going to be just setting our uploaded image path, which we just created, and we just set there to null. Let me just show you there. I'm gonna copy there, and now let me just place it right here, and it's gonna be equals to the upload image response. Oh my god, there's a lot of long variables right here. So now let me just get the data from there and then the image inside there. Okay, so if that's not the case, what do you want to do in that case? Console.error, and we would just say like failed to upload, come on, failed failed to upload image. And now let me just add my upload image error detail right here. Okay, and also we would just say like toast.error. So if you have some sort of error, so we're going to be just saying like failed to upload image right here. Okay, and now finally we just also have to return that so that it will not execute no more. And finally we just have to take care of creating a movie. We're going to be just calling our create movie function, and we just have to specify first of all our movie data, and then also we have to set the image and then the upload image path. Let me just show you that. I'm gonna copy that from here. Now let me just place it right here, save my file, and then we have to navigate our user to, let me just write a navigate to this admin and then movies, then dash list, which we're going to be creating later, but we did not have that, not right now. Okay, so now the next thing which I want to do is that I wanted to place that right here. We're going to be also emptying out our input field, even though we don't have to do that, but I am going to do that. I don't know if you come back to that same page and if you have a cache, so that will be already erased. And finally, let me just write my toast.success, and here we're going to be just adding like movie added or added to database right here. Okay, so now if that's not the case, and if we are inside a catch block, we're going to be first of all providing our console.error, and now let me just provide like failed to create movie, and I'm going to also provide a separate right here, and then we are going to be just passing our create movie error detail, which we are getting from the RTK query, and also we are going to be just passing our toast.error, and the toast error will say like failed to create movie. And now let me just render my movie, there we go. Let me just render the create movie create movie detail error detail. If we have that, we are going to be just getting the message from there, and finger crossed. That was all the thing that we have to do for just creating the movie. And now let me just test this out. So I'm gonna just refresh that, and now currently let me just check my database right here. I'm gonna go ahead and go to my MongoDB, and we have only 2 movies inside there. And finger crossed. First of all, we are going to be just creating a movie of I don't know, Black Adam would be fine. Let me just add this image, and I'm gonna just say like Black Adam. And I don't know when this movie was released, so I'm gonna just add like 2023. Amazing movie of The Rock or something. And the cast was Hosein, because I was the Black Adam, and John, and also, come on, John. Oh my God, John, and then Alex. And now let me just add some sort of a genre right here. Let me just select there. And I'm going to just add that inside the romance. That was a romantic movie. Oh my God, let me just add that right here, and let me just click on this create movie right here. So it's gonna just create one movie, and then it's gonna just brings us to this movie list right here, which is a good sign, but we did not create that right here, not right now. Let me just check my database, right click on there and refresh there, and the movie was not created. I don't know why. And I just found out that I made a mistake right here. Let's just remove that, and let's just also remove that. And now let me just go ahead and create a new movie. Let's just close that. And what I want to do is I want to create a new movie, Black Adam, and it was released I guess in 2023. And one of the best superhero hero movie ever or something like that. Let me just add Rock and Hosein or something like that. And now let me just click on this genre, click on the romance, and click on the image, and let me just add my Black Adam image and click on this create button, and it's gonna just create that movie for us. And now let me just check this out. Here you can see we have these two movies right here. Now let me just right click on there and click on the refresh. So we have now 3 movies. So now let me just check this out. Let me just click on this one. So here you can see we have a Black Adam, we have the image, we have the year, genre, and we also have the cast and the detail. The number of review we have 0. And yeah, that was it about how we are going to be creating a new movie. We are not totally done with the movie creation process. Now the next thing which you have to do is that we have to create another component, and I'm going to just give it the name of like admin movies list.jsx, and inside there we're going to be using our RFC. Now let me just go ahead and go to my main and register that right here, and I'm going to remove this this genre list, and I'm going to just provide my admin movie list right here, and it's going to auto import that for me. And now let me just remove this genre from here, and also this movies, and I'm going to just replace that with movies and then dash list. So now let me just save that, and let's just test this out. So here you can see it's going to just give us that admin movie list right here. And why is that? When we successfully create our movie, it's going to redirect the user to this movie list right here. Okay, so now let me just take care of that. So the first thing we would need is the link. So I'm going to just grab my link from the React Router DOM. Now we would also need to use our RTK hook. So for that, I'm going to just go ahead and go to, first of all, my Redux, and then I'm going to go ahead and go to my API, and then movies right here. And we're going to be just grabbing this hook right here, which will be the use get all movies query. Now let me just grab that, and now let me just create an instance of that. Oh yeah, we are going to be creating the instance of that, but we would also have to destructure the data right here. So we're going to be just destructuring the data, and I'm going to just rename this data to movies. Okay, so now we are totally done with that. And now let me just remove this label from this JSX, and we're going to be first of all creating a container. Now let me just provide a class name of container, and margin for the x-axis will be set to 9 rem. And now inside there, we are going to be just creating a div with a class of flex and also the flex of column. And for the medium screen, what do you want to do? We just want to set that to, let me just write a medium screen and flex row. We are going to be also creating yet another div with a class of padding all around will be set to 3. And inside there, we're going to be just also creating margin for the left, and also it's going to be just set to 2 rem. And now let me just provide a text of totally extra large, and font will be set to totally bold, and the height will be just set to 12. And inside there, I'm going to just say like all movies, and here let me just pass my movies. If you have that, we're going to be grabbing the movies link, like how many movies we currently have. So now, and here you can see it's going to give us there 3 movies right here. Now underneath this div, we're going to be creating yet another div, and I'm going to be just placing these classes right here. And inside this div, we're going to be iterating over through all of the movies. And now let me just iterate over through there by using the map method, and we're going to be just passing our movie right here in this case. And now inside there, first of all, we're going to be creating our link, and now let's just close there. Let me pass my key, and the key will be just set to movie and a specific movie ID. And now let me just provide a 2, so it will go to, first of all, let me just write my backticks, and it's gonna go to the admin, then the movies, then the update. And now let me just pass my movie, then dot specific movie, like specific movie ID. And then inside there, or you know what, first of all, let me just provide these classes right here. Let's just save there, and these are going to be the classes for this link. And now inside there, we're going to be just creating yet another div with the class of flex. And now inside this flex, we're going to be creating yet another div with the key of let me just pass my movie and then a specific movie ID. Let me also place these classes right here. Now let me just save there, and inside this div, let me just put that right here. Inside this div, we're going to be creating our image, and for the image src, like for the source, we're going to be providing our movie.image, and for the alternative text, we're going to be providing our movie.name. Okay, and also I'm going to be just placing the class name of width will be set to totally full, and also height will be set to 48. There we go, and object will be also set to totally cover. And now let me just save there, and here you can see for these two movies we don't have the images, but we do have the names. But for this movie we added the image, so that's why we can see that. Okay, and this is also a link, so if I click on there, it's gonna bring us to that specific movie, and we're gonna take care of that a bit later. Underneath this image, we're going to be creating yet another div, and I'm going to be placing these classes right here for the styling. And inside this div, we are going to be creating yet another div, and I'm going to just give you the class name of font will be set to totally bold, and text will be set to extra large, and margin for the bottom will be set to 2. Okay, and here we are going to be just rendering the movie.name, and now let me just save there. And now underneath this div, what do you want to do? We just want to add a paragraph, and for this paragraph we are going to be attaching the class name of text totally gray. Let me just pass the gray of 700, and also text will be set to base. And now inside there, we are going to be just passing the movie.detail detail let me just save there. And underneath there, what do you want to do? We're going to be creating yet another div, and let me just place the class name of margin for the top will be set to 2 rem, and also margin for the bottom will be set to 1 rem. Okay, so now let's just close there, and now inside there we're going to be creating our link, and this link will go to that specific movie. So I'm going to just pass first of all my admin, then I'm going to just pass the movies, then update, and it's going to just allows us to update a specific movie. So we're going to be just passing the movie and then ID. Okay, so now inside there, or you know, let me just also add the classes, and now let me just place these classes right here. Let me just save there, and it's going to just say that update movie. Now let me just save there, and here you can see this how we are going to be getting our UI, and that's looking better. But you can change the UI like however you want, but I'm going to just delete these two movies right here. So let's just go ahead and go to my database, and then we have the Extraction 2 and John Wick. So now let me just remove these movies. Let's just remove that, and I'm gonna also remove this movie as well. Let's just leave this Black Adam right here. Let me just refresh there. So it's gonna just give us this movie right here, which is totally looking cool. And yeah, that was it about the admin movies. And next we're going to be taking care of, I guess, all the comments. I'm not sure, but we are going to be taking care of something. So that was it about the admin movie list. So now we are totally done with the admin movie list. Now the next thing which you have to do is that we have to take care of update movies. So I'm going to be just creating a component. I'm going to just give it the name of like update movie.jsx right here, and I'm going to be using my RAFC. Now let me just save that. And what I want to do is that I want to register that right here. So now let me just duplicate that, and we're going to just placing like update movie, and it's going to auto import that for us. And now let me just remove that from here, and I'm going to be passing my movies and then update and specific movie. So now let me just save that, and now let me just go ahead and check this out. So if I click on this specific movie, so it's going to just give us that update movie right here, which is something that we want. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my component, and we're going to be grabbing a lot of things. The first thing which you have to grab is the use effect, and we would also need to grab the use state as well. Now underneath that we would also need to get the use params and also the use navigate as well, and we are going to be grabbing that from the React router DOM, and we are going to be also importing our hook from the RTK query, which we have like use get specific movie query and use update movie mutation, use upload image mutation, and use delete movie mutation. Now underneath there we are going to be also importing, let's just remove that from here, we are going to be also importing the toast from the React Toastify. Okay, so now let me just save that, and now inside this update movie, what do you want to do? We just want to destructure the ID from the use params, and now let me just create the instance of that use navigate and store the inside of navigate. And now let me just create my state. We already created this state, so now let me just place it right here. So we have a movie data, and we also have a set movie data, and inside there we have a name, year, detail, cast, rating, and also the image. Okay, so that's that. Now the next thing which you have to do is that we have to also make a state for the selected image and also the set selected image as well, and we're going to be grabbing that from the use state. And now let me just pass my null initial value, and now we are going to be destructuring the data, and we're going to be changing the name of that data to the initial 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 movie data, and it's going to be coming from the use get specific movie query, and we are going to be passing a specific ID to the specific movie. So now let me just use the use effects so that we can see something when the component first renders. So now let me just provide the dependency array, and for the dependency array we are going to be just providing the initial movie data, and inside there we're going to be just checking if we have the initial movie data. What do you want to do in that case? We're going to be just setting our movie data to the initial movie data right here. Okay, so that's that. Now let me just save this file. So now underneath there we're going to be just destructuring a lot of things from the use update mutation or movie mutation, and now inside there we're going to be just passing the update movie, and let me just provide the is loading, and we are going to be just renaming that to something like is updating movie would be fine. Okay, so now we are going to be just destructuring there. Now the next thing which you have to do is that we also have to destructure something from the use upload image mutation, and we're not going to be passing anything to that, but we're going to be just destructuring the upload 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 image, and we are going to be just also destructuring the is loading, and let me just rename that to like is uploading image, and also the error. Okay, so we're going to be just passing the upload. Let me just pass the upload image error details, or details would be fine. Now let me just save that, and it's gonna look a bit horrible, so now let me just go back, and that's totally different thing. So now I'm going to also destructure my deletion. So let me just zoom in a bit once again, and I'm going to be just destructuring them. But first of all we have to use the use delete movie mutation, and then we're going to be just destructuring the delete movie right here. Come on, delete MOVIE. There we go. Let me place my styling right here, and inside there we're going to be creating a form, and we're not going to be providing any action to that. And inside this form we're going to be creating a paragraph which will say the update movie right here. And now let me just place these classes right here. Now let me just save that, and let's just refresh that, and here you can see we are not getting anything. But now let me just right click on that and go to my inspect element. Let's just go to the console, and we are getting the error. It is saying the requested module src movie does not provide an export name. Use delete movie mutation. Why not? Let me just go to the top. Movies does not provide the use delete movie mutation. Use delete. Yeah, we do have the use delete comment, but we are already defining or used delete. I guess we're not exporting that. Let me just check. So let me just type the use once again, use delete, and we have a movie mutation right here. Now let me just provide a comma, save this file, and now let me just refresh that, and here you can see we are now getting the movie right here, updated movie rather. So we are now getting there, which is totally cool. But now let's just take care of the JSX right here. So now underneath this paragraph we are going to be creating our div with the class of margin for the bottom will be set to 4, and now inside there we're going to be just providing the label of let's just remove that HTML4, and now let me provide a class name of block to it, and inside there we're going to be providing the name and also the input field. So this input field will have the type of text, but we are going to be also providing the name of name as well, and also the value will be set to the movie data, and then we have to specifically specify the name, and then the on change property we're going to be passing the handle change. Okay, something which we are going to be creating in a few seconds. But now let me just provide a bit of styling to it. So border and padding for the x-axis will be set to 2, padding for the y-axis will be set to 1, and width will be set to totally full. So now let me just save there. Let's just comment this line out, save our file, and here you can see we are now getting our black atom right here, and which is looking totally okay. But now let me just duplicate this line of code maybe 3 times. So this is going to be 1, 2, and 3. Now let me just take care of the first one. So we have a name, but now let's just change this name to year. So I'm going to just change that to year. Let's just provide a year right here, and the type will be set to number, and also this is going to be set to year. And from the movie data, we're not going to be taking the name, but in this case we're going to be providing the year, and I guess the rest of them will be totally the same. But now let me just change that to detail, and we're not going to be providing any input to that. So now let's just remove that from here. We're going to be providing our text area, and let's just provide a name of detail to it. And for the ID, we're not going to be providing any ID and columns and rows, so let's just remove that. And now we are going to be also providing the value, and the value will be movie data dot detail. There we go. Now let me also provide the on change handler on there, so handle change, which we are going to be commenting in a few seconds. Now let me just copy the same styling from there. Let's just copy that from here, and now let me just place that right here, save my file. And now let me just comment this line out, and inside this text area, what I want to do, and we're not going to be closing our text area like that, but now let me just close that manually. So now let me just save this file, and that's there. And finally, let's just take care of the cast. So we would have a cast, and then the comma separated cast, SEPARATED. And now underneath that, we're going to be just passing the cast, and then we have to specifically provide the cast and then the join. And now let's just split that by using the comma. And now what I want to do, I'm going to just uncomment that. Let me just remove that from here. Let me just pass my event object to that, and the set movies data, and we are going to be first of all providing all of the movies. So let's just remove that movie data. And now let me just change the cast, and the cast will be e.target dot value. And now let's just split that by using this comma, and there we go. Okay, so now let me just save that. And underneath this label and div, we are going to be defining our classes, I mean like that same styling once again. So now let me just go back, and now let me just place the styling right here. So here you can see we are now providing their div, and we are now providing their classes to it, and then we have a label, and we're now providing this inline styling to that. And if we don't have the selected image, so then we are providing these classes. But if we have that, so then we are providing these classes right here. Okay, now inside they were now providing if we have the selected image. So we're going to be just saying like upload image, and otherwise we're going to be just taking care of the handle image upload. So now let me just save that, and that's exactly what you have to type. Okay, so I'm just copying and placing there because I already written this code, and I'm rewriting there once again, so I don't want to waste your time and not mine. So now let me just save that, and underneath this div, what do I have to do? I can totally copy the button as well, but you know what, let me just retype that. So I'm going to be just placing the button, and now let me just provide the type of button to it. I'm going to also provide the on click handler to that, and then we have a handle update movie, and we are going to be providing that in a few seconds. But now let me just provide a bit of classes to it, and then outside from there we are going to be also attaching the disable stat on there. If we have the is updating movie, or we have the is upload movie right here. So now let me just save that, and inside there, inside the label of this button, what do you want to do? We just want to check if we have is updating movie, or we have the is uploading movie. Is uploading movie right here. This should be uploading, so is uploading movie. So what do you want to do in that case? We just want to check if we have the updating dot dot dot, or we are going to be attaching the update movie. There we go. Okay, and now underneath this button, we are going to be creating yet another button, and I'm going to just provide the type of button to it, and also the on click event handler will say the handle delete handle delete movie right here. And we're going to be also attaching these same classes. So now let me just copy that, and now let me just place it right here, and the disable stat will say the is updating movie, or the is uploading movie. Okay, and now here inside there, we are going to be just placing the is updating movie, or the is uploading movie. And so we are going to be just placing like either the deleting, deleting dot dot dot, or we are going to be just passing like delete movie, delete movie as a label. So now let me just save that, and now let me just comment this line out, save our file, and here you can see we are now getting all of the movie detail, but we're gonna have to provide a bit of more classes to that. So now let me just place these classes to these classes right here. So now let me just save that, and here you can see we are now getting this red button right here. They are not doing anything because we are not attaching any event listener on there. And yeah, that's the UI. But now let me just take care of the functionality. I'm gonna go to the top, and first of all we're going to be just defining the handle change functions. We have this handle change function in 3 areas. So now let me just uncomment that. Now let me just click on there once again. So we have that right here. Now let me just uncomment there here, and now let me just uncomment there right here at the final stage. Now let me just go to the top and create this same function which we are defining for all of their components. So we are going to be just providing first of all the handle change. It's going to take the event, and now inside there what do you want to do? We just want to grab the name and also the value from where? From the era target. Okay, and now underneath there we're going to be just defining like set movie data, and let's just provide our previous data right here. And inside there, let's just remove that from here, and inside there we're going to be providing our previous data. So prev data, and now let me just provide my name, and let's just define a specific value for that. Okay, so now let me just save that, and that's it about for this function. Now let me just take care of the handle image change, and I'm going to just search for that. So we have the instance of that in one place, and now let me just uncomment that, and I'm gonna go to the top once again, and now let me just create this function right here underneath this handle change. Now let me just create that function, and this one is going to be totally simple. So we're going to be just creating like the function name, and now let me just provide our event object, and inside there we're going to be just providing the file, and that will be the era target dot files, and we're going to be getting the first one. And now underneath there we're going to be using like set selected image, and we're going to be providing the type of file. Okay, so that's that. Now let me just search for the handle update movie, and here you can see we have the instance of that. Now let me just uncomment there, go to the top, and let's just go to the top once again, and we're going to be creating this function right here at the top of this JSX. So we're going to be just creating like handle update movie, and this is going to be the asynchronous function. And now inside there we're going to be using our try and catch block. For the catch block we're going to be taking care of that in a few seconds, but first of all we're going to be just checking if we already have these properties. So let's just remove that and hit enter right here, and let's just check if you don't have the name or the year or the detail or the case. So what do you want to do in that case? We just want to throw some sort of a toast. So we are going to be just saying like toast.error, and now let me just define like please fill in all required fields. Okay, and now underneath there we're going to be just returning that, or you know what, that's exactly the same logic as the create movie. So I'm going to go ahead and go to there, and we have that exact same logic of how handle change, not this one, you know what, there's a bit of difference. So you know, let me just remove that from here, and underneath these curly braces what do you want to do? First of all we're going to be defining like uploaded 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 image path, and it's going to be equals to the movie data dot image. Okay, so now let's just close that, and now let's just search for the selected image, and now inside there we're going to be just creating our form data, and it's going to be equals to the new form data which we're going to be creating by using this new form data. And now underneath there what do you want to do? We just want to append our image, so form data, and let's just append our image in there. Okay, and the image will be that selected image. Okay, so now underneath there we're going to be defining our upload image response. It's going to be equals to the await and then upload image. And now let me just paste my form data inside there. Now underneath there we're going to be just checking if we have the upload image response, and then inside there we're going to be just searching for their data. Then what do you want to do? We just want to check for the uploaded not this one but the uploaded image path, and it's going to be equals to the uploaded not uploaded but upload image response, and we are going to be getting the data dot image. So we're going to be just setting that to the data image. And now if that's not the case, so what do you want to do? You just want to pass the lock and also the toast of this error right here. Now underneath this if and else statement what do you want to do? We are going to be just creating, or not creating but updating our movie. So await and then update movie, and now let's just pass our id of id, and also the update updated movie will be now equals to let's just first of all define our all of the movies. So movie data, and then we have to just write an image and then uploaded image path in this case. And if everything is totally successful, then we want to navigate our user to the movies. Okay, so we're going to be just taking care of that in a few seconds. but now let me just take care of the error, and now we are going to be just attaching this error right here. Okay, so now let me just save that. And the final thing which you have to take care of, this handle delete movie, let me just go ahead and search for that, and let me just uncomment this line of code, and then we want to go to the top. Let me just copy the name of that. Let me just go to the top, and here you can see underneath this function we're going to be just creating our handle delete function. So now let's just do that. So we have a const handle delete movie, and it's going to be also asynchronous function, and inside this function what do you want to do? Let's just provide our try and catch block, and for the catch block I'm going to just provide these logs. I'm going to just define this console.error and also this error of toast. And for the try block, what do you want to do? We just want to try the toast.success, and now let's just provide like movie deleted successfully. There we go. And now underneath that we're going to be attaching the delete movie right here. And now let me just pass the ID inside there. And finally we have to just navigate our user to that specific movies page which we're going to be creating in a few seconds. So now let me just save that. And that was a lot of explanation. So what I want to do is that I want to test this out. So here you can see we have only one movie, which is a Black Adam movie. So now let me just change that to like White Adam or something like that. Let me just change that to White Adam, and it is going to be releasing in 2025. And one of the awful movies so far or something like that. Instead of writing the rock paper scissors, I'm gonna just paste like John and Jordan and Peterson or something like that. And let me just also change the image of that to like this Saw X, but this is a White Adam. So now let me just click on this movie button. I'm like the update movie, but now let me just right click on that and go to my inspect element, and then I'm gonna go ahead and go to my security, and let's just search if we don't have any error. Okay, so let's just go back and click on this update movie, and here you can see everything is now successfully updated. And now let me just show you that. Okay, so now let me just go ahead and go to my database, and let's just refresh that. Let me just go ahead, and here you can see we're now getting the White Adam, we're getting the image, and we're also getting the year and also the detail and the cast and every single thing. So yeah, the updation or the update is totally working. But now let me just delete this movie from the database. So I'm gonna just go ahead and delete that. But you know what, first of all let me just create another movie. So I'm gonna just go to a dashboard. Oh, we did not create a dashboard. So now let me just go ahead and go to my main, and thank God I came here. I accidentally removed what do you call it, the create movie right here. I guess we did that. Let me just see. Here you can see we already created that, but I don't know, I accidentally deleted that. So now let me just grab that right here once again. So I'm going to copy that, and now let me just grab that right here. So import create movie. Let's just go ahead and go to our not component but pages. Go to the pages, and then we have to go to the admin. Then we would be able to create a new movie. So now let me just save that. First of all, you want to create a movie, but now let me just grab all of that from here, and now let me just place that right here and remove that slash, and now let me just hit enter, and now we can totally create a movie. So now let me just click on this upload image, and I'm gonna just paste this John Wick and provide a name for that like John Wick. And I don't know when this was released, so I'm gonna just paste like 2018 or something like that. And best action movie so far by Jonathan, or John Wick would be fine. And now let me just provide a John and Wick, and for the genre we're going to be adding that to the adventure or something like that. And now let me just create that movie. Okay, so we have now two movies right here, and we can totally update that. And you know what, let me just delete one of the movies. So like in this case I'm gonna just remove this White Adam. Now let me just click on that. Let me just right click on that and go to my network panel once again, because I don't want to take my chances. And now let me just click on this delete button, and yeah, that is totally working, and the movie is now successfully deleted. Let me just show you that, and let's just refresh that, and here you can see we only have that John Wick movie. And what was that? White Adam is now successfully gone. Okay, so yeah, this is how we are going to be creating a movie, updating a movie, and deleting a movie. So yeah, here you can see we only have this John Wick right here, which is totally looking awesome. I just went to the IMDb and I grabbed the same actual information about these specific movies. So I just created a few movies and I want you to do the same. Okay, so you can find the images in my GitHub repository. You can also find the description and also a title and all of that kind of stuff in my GitHub repository. So what I want to do is that we're going to be focusing on the home first of all. So now let me just remove that, and now let me just go ahead and go to my home, and here you can see we are now at home, which is totally amazing. But now we're gonna have to split that into a few components. So I'm gonna be just creating a folder and I'm gonna just give it the name of like movies. And now inside there, I'm going to be creating my header first of all. So header.jsx. Now let me just use my RAFC, save my file, and now let me just grab that right here. So I'm going to be just grabbing my header. Let's just copy that. Let's just remove these divs, and I'm going to just make that as a React fragments. And now inside there, we're going to be passing our header. Now let me just save that. And here you can see we're now getting our header right here instead of the home. So that's cool. Now let me just go ahead and go to my header component, and inside there we're going to be writing a lot of JSX. So you can find all of that JSX in my GitHub repository, because I'm not planning to type all of that JSX. So I'm going to just copy and paste a lot of things. So now let me just go ahead and go to my Redux, and you know what, not like that. Let me just go ahead and go to my Redux like that. Then we have to go to the API and then the movies. Okay, so we are going to be grabbing the use get new movies, and now let me just grab them. And we would also have to grab our link, and now let me just grab my link from where. Let me just go ahead and write a React router and then DOM, and we are going to be grabbing there by using these curly braces. Okay, so now let me just save there. What do you want to do? We just want to grab the data, and we are going to be grabbing that from use get new movies query. Okay, so now inside this header JSX, now let's just remove that, and now let me just style there by using these classes. And now inside there we're going to be creating yet another nav, and now let me just style there as well. And I want you to provide the same styling as I am doing right here. And now let me just provide a link, and now it's gonna go to, let me just go to the home screen, and we're going to be providing these classes. And now let me just add these classes right here, and it's gonna just go to the home. So now if I save my file, and now let me just check this out, and here you can see we're now getting this home button, and when I hover my mouse over to that, so it's going to give us that kind of teal color or something like that. And the UI doesn't matter, you can change the UI like however you want. And now the next thing which I want to do is that I want to grab that and duplicate that. Instead of going to the home, I'm going to go to the movies, and then let's just change that to like browse, browse, browse movies. And now let's just save that, and here you can see we're also getting the browse movies as well, which is also looking totally okay. Now underneath this nav, we're going to be creating yet another div. So now let me just create my div right here, and now let me just style there by using these CSS classes or CSS classes. And inside there we're going to be passing our component, which we're going to be creating in a few seconds, and we're going to be also providing a data which we are already grabbing from the RTK query. So now let me just create this slider util. I'm going to copy that, and then I'm going to go to my components, and inside this component we are going to be creating our slider util.jsx. Okay, and now let me just use my RAFC, save my file. And here what I want to do is that I'm going to also save this file, but first of all let me just import that right here. So it's gonna auto import it for me, and now let me just save that. And now let's just work with this slider util, and here you can see this how it looks like currently we have these buttons, and we also have our slider right here. So now let me just take care of these sliders. So the first thing which I want to do is that I wanted to grab my slider. So let me just grab my, let's just import my slider from where, from the React and Silk. Okay, and the next thing which you want to do is that we are going to be also importing the CSS. So Silk, SLICK CAROUSEL, and now let's just go ahead and go to the SLICK and then silk.css. Come on, .css, there we go. And we are going to be also importing the theme. So we have a silk, or let me just remove that from here and duplicate that, and then I'm going to go ahead and go to my silk-theme.css in this case. Okay, so yeah, that's looking cool. Now let me just save that, and now let's just use our slider. So what I want to do is that I want to first of all provide a settings. So now inside there on settings for my carousel, so now let me just provide dots. and dots will be set to true, and we're going to be also providing the infinite, like scroll infinitely, infinite, and it's going to be set to true. And now let me just provide a speed to that, and speed will be just 500, and also the slides to show will be now set to 4, and slides to scroll, scroll will be set to 2 as well. Okay, so that's there. And now let me just take care of my JSX right here. So now let me just remove that, and now in this case let me just remove that, and I'm going to also remove that from here, and instead I'm going to be using my slider. And now let me just provide my dot of settings, like all of that settings which you are already grabbing or already creating. So now let me just copy and paste that right here, and now inside there I'm going to also provide a slider, not slice, but why am I providing a slice? I mean slider. Let's just copy that and place that right here, and inside the slider we're going to be just iterating over through all of that data. If we have the data, then we're going to be iterating over through all of that data. Let me just pass my movie, and then inside there we're going to be creating yet another component which will be the movie card, and let's just provide our key to that, and I'm going to be just passing my movie.id. okay, so now let me just provide a movie, and movie will be set to movie. And now let's just close that, but first of all we're going to also have to grab that right here. Let's just destructure that data, and we're going to be passing that data right here, and we are going to be iterating over through that data, and based on that data we are going to be creating this component. So now let me just take care of this movie card component, and I'm going to just go ahead and go to my movies once again, and now let me just create my movie card.jsx, and now inside there we're going to be using our RAFC server file, and now let's just import that right here. Okay, so now let me just import the server file, and here you can see we are now getting our carousel, and we are also getting these movies right here, which is totally looking okay. So yeah, that's cool. But now let me just take care of the movie cards. The first thing we would do is that we're going to be grabbing our link from the React Router DOM, and now let me just also destructure that movie which we are already specifying right here as a prop, and now we are going to be using that. So now let's just remove this movie card from here, and we're going to be passing the key of the movie and their specific movie ID. And now let me just provide a classes of relative, relative, and group. Also margin will be auto rem will be set to 2 rem, and now inside this div we're going to be creating our link, and it should go to the specific movie. So let's just go ahead and go to the movies, and then that specific movie.id. okay, so now inside there I'm going to be also placing my image. So now let me just add the image, and now inside this image for the source we're going to be passing our movie.image, and then for the alternative text we're going to be passing the movie.name. And now for the classes I'm going to be placing these classes right here. I don't know why it is giving me this error. Movie name is missing in the prop. Oh, that's because we did not specify the prop validation. We don't have to do that no more in the React 18. We're not going to do that. Okay, so now underneath this link, what do you want to do? I'm going to be placing this paragraph, and it has a lot of styling right here, but inside that we are going to be just providing our movie name. Okay, so that's exactly what we have to do. And now let's just save that, and once we save that, and here you can see it's going to give us all of their movies right here. I can click here on these small dots, and it's going to just give us their slider, or I can just click on this button, or just click on this button right here. Okay, so it's going to just give us that amazing slider, and we can browse through the movies, or we can go to the home. Okay, so yeah, that was the first header component. And now let me just take care of what do we call it, the movies container. So what I want to do is that I'm going to be just placing a section, and now let me just provide a bit of classes to it. So margin for the top will be set to 10 rem, and inside this section we're going to be just placing our movies container page. And now let's just close that, and we're going to be creating this component in a few seconds. And now let me just do that, and inside this movies folder we're going to be creating this movies container page.jsx. and now let me just write my RAFC inside there, save my file, and now let's just auto grab that. And now let me just hit enter. So it's gonna just grab that right here for me, save my file, and here you can see we're now getting our movies container page. Now let me just hide that, and here you can see that's looking a bit better. And now the next thing which I want to do is that I want to take care of this component. So now let me just grab my use state first of all, not store but state from the React.js. And now let me just also grab a lot of hooks. So you know what, I'm gonna just copy that, and now let me just place it right here. So we only need the use get new movies query, the get top movies and random movies right here. So that's there, and we would also need to grab our genre. So let's just import something from, let's just go ahead and go to the Redux, and then go to our API and then genre. Okay, so we're going to be grabbing our use fetch genre query, and now let me just save that. Underneath that, we're going to be just importing our slider util from our component and slider util. Now let me just use my RTK query hooks. So for that, we're going to be destructuring our data from the use get new movies, and now let me just execute that. We're going to be also destructuring this data once again, and I'm going to just rename that to top movies, and it's going to be coming from the use get top movies query. And now let me just also destructure the data, and it's going to be coming from the genres, and now we are going to be getting there from the use fetch genre query. And also let's just get the data, rename that to like random movies. It's going to be coming from the use get random movies query right here. And now let me just execute that. And now underneath that, we're going to be just creating a state for the selected genre, and also for the set selected genre, and it's going to be equals to the use state. And now let me just pass my null initial value to that. Now let me just save that, and now let's just take care of this JSX. Now let me just remove that, and now let me just provide a lot of classes to that. Okay, now a lot of you will say like, Hussein, you're just copying and placing that. You should also do the same, because I already written this code, and you don't have to just rewrite that again and again, because this is just a UI, not a logics, so you don't have to write your UI from scratch. So I already did that. Just thank me and write that or copy that. Okay, so now let me just place this this class is right here. Now let me just save that, and inside this navigation, we're going to be iterating over through all of our genres, and we are going to be just using the map method to iterate over through that. And for each genre, we are going to be passing our G, and for each genre we are going to be just creating a button. And now let's just close that. Now let me just pass my key, and the key will be genre.id, that specific genre. And now I'm going to be passing the styling right here. So we have all of these default styling, but here in this case we are now checking if we have the selected genre is equal to genre ID, then we're going to be passing our background color of 200. If that's not the case, so we're going to be just passing nothing. Okay, so that's that. And when somebody clicks on that, what do you have to do on that case? And now let me just write my own click event handler, and we're going to be just passing our handle genre. In a few seconds we're going to be creating that. And now let me just pass my genre ID inside there. And for the label of this button, we are going to be just creating our genre name. Okay, so now let's just save that. And now let me just go ahead and go back. Let's just comment this line out, and underneath this navigation, we're going to be creating a section. Now let me just create a section, and I'm going to be just placing these classes right here. And now inside there, we're going to be creating yet another div, and inside this div, let me just paste these classes. And now inside there, we're going to be just creating our h1 and choose for you. And for this h1, we are going to be just providing a class name of margin for the bottom of 5. And now underneath there, we're going to be just using our slider util. And now let me just provide a data of this random movies, and there we have it. Okay, so now let me just save that. And now underneath this section, I'm going to just duplicate there for a few times. So should I do that or not? You know what, I'm not going to duplicate that. I'm going to be creating a div, and inside this div, now let me just provide a bit of classes to it. So I'm going to be just passing like width of totally full. And also on the large screen, what do you want to do? We just want to add the width of 100 rem, and then we are going to be also providing the margin for the bottom will be now set to 8. And inside there, we are going to be just passing our h1 of top movies. And now let me just pass my class name of margin for the bottom will be now set to 5. And now underneath that, we are going to be also providing our slider. And now let me just pass the data, and the data will be top movies in this case. And now let's just close that. Okay, so now underneath there, I'm going to just duplicate this one more time like that, and everything is totally cool. But now here, let me just pass my choose movie, and now let me just provide my slider util, and we're going to be just passing the data of filtered filter movies, which we're going to be creating in a few seconds. So yeah, I'm going to just save this file. And first of all, let me just take care of this one. Or you know what, first of all, let me just take care of this handle genre click. So now let me just create that functions right here. So I'm going to be just creating this handle genre click, and we're going to be just passing our genre ID. and now it's going to take the arrow function, set selected genre, and we are going to be just passing our genre ID in this case. Okay, so that's that. Now let me just take care of this filtered movies. Okay, so now we are going to be just creating this filtered movies, and it's going to be set to, if we have the data, then we are going to be just filtering that data, and I'm going to be just passing the movie, like a specific movie, and if the selected genre is triple equals to null, or the movie dot genre, come on, not ID but genre, is triple equals to the selected genre, so it's gonna just gives us that filtered movie. So now let me just save that, and we are now totally done with this component as well. So now let me just try this out, and here you can see it's gonna give us this UI, but that's not something that I want. I don't know, where did I misspell something, or what did I do wrong? We have our div, then we have our navigation, and here you can see I just made a mistake. I'm gonna cut this section from here, and now underneath this div we are going to be just passing our section right here, or you know, on the top of this div. Now let me just save that. First of all, it's going to give us that choose for you. These are going to be the random movies. So if I just refresh that, and here you can see it's going to give us Spider-Man in this case, and now let me just refresh that once again, and in this case it's going to give us that Transformers, and now let me just refresh that once again, so it's going to give us that Saw. Okay, so these are going to be totally different, I mean like random movies. Then we have a top movies, so these are going to be just the top movies, and then we have choose movies right here. Like we can also choose them by using these genres, so I can just click on the action, so it's gonna just only gives us the action movies. I can click on the adventure, so I'm gonna just click, so it's gonna just give us that adventure movies right here, and I can just click on these genres and it's gonna give us that different movies. Okay, so yeah, we are totally done with this first home, or you can say the header and the home, whatever you want to call that. And we can also use these small sliders, or we can also use these slider as well. So we are now totally done with the home screen, and now let me just take care of the browse movies. Okay, so what I want to do is that I'm going to just review that from here and also from here, and now let me just go ahead and go to my movies once again. Let me just zoom in a bit, and now let me just create a component of all movies.jsx, and I'm going to be just writing like rfc save my file, and now let me just go ahead and go to my main, and now let's just register that right here underneath this home. Now let me just register that, so I'm going to be just passing the route, and then the path will be, let's just go ahead and go to the, not the movie, yeah, go to the movies, and then let's just pass our element, and the element will just take all movies, and now let's just close that like so, and now let me just save that, and we have to grab them manually, so let's just import that. So now let me just save that, and here you can see we are now getting that all movies instead of that error. Okay, so that's totally resolved, and now the next thing which I want to do is that I'm gonna go ahead and go to my all movies, and we are gonna have to write a lot of stuff. Okay, so the first thing we would need is the use get all movies query, and we would also need the use fetch genre queries, and we're gonna also import a lot more than that. So use get new movies, get new movies query, and use get top query, top movies query, and also the use get random ones as well. Now let me just remove this curly braces, save our file, and now let me just also import my movie card as well. Now let me just save that. I'm going to be also importing my use effect and also my use selector, but we also have to register that inside our store. But you know what, let me just import that right here. I'm going to be using my use dispatch, DISPRTCH, and it's going to be coming from, let's just write or React Redux. Okay, so now let me just save that. Now here you can see I have my banner picture. I'm going to cut that from here, and now let me just go ahead and go to my front end, and inside this front end I'm going to go ahead and go to my src, and now let me just create a separate folder which will be the assets. I'm going to just place my banner right here, and now let me just check this out. So here you can see we have our assets, ASSETS, and we have this banner picture right here. Let me just show you that. And what I want to do is that I want to grab that right here. So now let me just import that. So I'm going to be using import banner from where, from, let's just go ahead and go to our assets, and then inside this asset we have a banner.jpg. Okay, so we need that. Now let me just save that, and now let's just take care of the Redux side. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go to my Redux, and inside there we are going to be introducing a new feature which will be movies. Okay, so now let me just create a new folder. I'm going to just give it a name of like movies, and inside this movies folder we are going to be creating a new movies slice.js file right here. Okay, and the first thing which I have to do is that I'm going to be grabbing my create slice, god damn it, so create slice from where, from, let's just go ahead and go to the Redux toolkit, and we're going to be grabbing our create slice from there. And now let me just create my movie slice, and it's going to be equal to the create slice function. And now inside there, first of all, we have to give it some sort of a name. So in this case, I'm going to be just giving it the name of like movies. Now the next thing which you have to do is that we have to specify the initial state, and for the initial state we are going to be just passing our movies movies filter, and it's going to be equals to this object. And then we have to specify first of all the search term, and the search term will be set to empty string. And now let me just remove that from here. And now the next thing which you want to do is that we want to also take care of the selected genre, and it's going to be also set to empty string. And then we have a selected year, selected year. And now let me just add that right here, and also the selected sort as well, and it's going to be equals to this array. Okay, so now underneath that, let me just add my filter movies. Filter movies will be now equals to this array, and we can also just write a movie years, and it's going to be equals to this array as well. And now let me just use my unique year, and it's going to be equals to this array as well. So now let me just save that, and that was it about for our initial state. And now let me just take care of the reducer and actions. And inside this reducer, let me just pass my reducers right here. And inside this reducer, the first action which I'm going to be introducing is the set movies filter, and it's going to take the state and also the action as well. And now inside there, I'm going to be using the state dot movies filter. Okay, it's going to be equals to dot and state first of all, and we're going to be grabbing our movies filter, and then we have to provide our dot of action dot payload, like all of the filter movies and also the payload as well. Okay, so that's that. Now underneath that, we're going to be also creating set filter movies as well. So set filtered movies, and it's going to be equals to the state and also the action. And now inside there, we're going to be using our state.filtered filtered filter movies, and it's going to be coming from the action.payload. Okay, and now underneath there, we're going to be just also creating a set movie year or years with plural, and we're going to be passing the state and also the action. And now let me just provide my state.movie or movie years, and it's going to be equals to the action.payload. There we go. And yeah, that's cool. But now let me just finally provide my last action, which will be set unique set unique years. Okay, and set unique years will be state and also the action. And inside there, we're going to be just getting our state and then their unique years from there is going to be equals to the action dot payload. Okay, so now let me just save there, and finally we have to export all of these actions from this slice right here. And now let me just place that right here. So we are now exporting the set movies filter, the set filter movies, and also the set movie year, and also the set unique year. And now underneath that, let's just use our export default of movies slice, and we are going to be just exporting the reducer. And now let me just save my file, and now we have to go to our store and register that. Let's just grab our movies reducer, and we are going to be grabbing that from reducer. Then we have to go to the feature, then we have to go to the movies, then we have to go to the movie slice. Okay, and now let's just register that right here underneath this auth. I'm going to be just introducing that by using the movies and then the movies reducer like this one. And now let me just provide my comma. Let me just save this file, and there you have it. That's it about the Redux side. Let's just close that, and now we're going to be importing all of their actions right here. And now let me just place it right here. So we're now importing all of their actions from this specific file. So now let me just go ahead and go to that. We're now exporting that right here, and now in this file we are importing that. So that's that. Now the first thing which I want to do is that I want to create an instance of that use dispatch. So I'm going to be using like dispatch, and it's going to be equals to use dispatch. And now let me just execute that. Now we are going to be also destructuring our data. Let's just destructure that from where, from the use get all movies query right here. And now let me just also destructure my data, and let's just rename that to genres, and we are going to be fetching that from or use get or not get, but use fetch genres query right here. Underneath that, we are going to be also destructuring our movie once again, and we are going to be just renaming that to new movies. It's going to be coming from the use get new movies in this case. And now let me just also destructure my data once again, and then we have a random movies right here, and we're going to be just destructuring that from the random come on, use get random movies. And now let me just execute that. Now let me just create a stat for my filter movies. So now let me just provide my movies filter, and also we have a filtered movies as well, and it's going to be equals to the use selector, and we're going to be just getting that from the stat, and we have our stat dot movies right here inside there. And now underneath that, let's just create our movie years, and it's going to be equals to the data. If we have the data, then we're going to be just iterating over through the movies, and then let's just provide a specific movie inside there. And now let me just pass my movie year. Okay, and now underneath that, let's just pass our unique years. It's going to be equals to the array dot from, and now here we have to just use the new set because it is a data structure. It's going to only give us a unique movies right here. In this case, it's going to just remove their duplication, and we totally want that. Okay, so now let's just save that. And that was a lot of logic. Okay, so now the next thing which I want to do is that I want to first of all dispatch my action by using my use effect. So use effect, and inside this use effect, we're going to be just providing our arrow function, and for the dependency array, we're going to be passing our data and also our dispatch. So there is PRTCH in this case. And now inside there, let's just dispatch first of all our set filter movies, and we're going to be passing our data or the empty string. Okay, and now let me just dispatch my set movie years, and now let's just execute that. I'm going to be passing my movie years, and now underneath that, let's just dispatch that one more time, and then set unique years. Okay, so now let me just pass my unique years in this case and save that. Okay, so that's that. Now let me just go ahead and go to my JSX and remove that, and I'm going to be providing these classes right here. Now inside there, let me just pass my React fragments, and inside there, let me just create my section, and inside this section, let's just create a div, and inside this div, I'm going to be providing these what do we call it these Tailwind CSS classes, and also this inline class of just adding a banner to it, which we are already grabbing from the assets folder. Here you can see we have this banner right here, and now we are providing that as an inline CSS. So now let me just save that, and inside this div, now let me just add yet another div for the CSS class. So here you can see we have these classes right here. I'm going to save that, and now underneath that, let me just create yet another div, and I'm going to be passing these class names to it, and let's just pass that. And now inside this div, let's just create our h1, and I'm going to just provide a class names of like text 8 pixel, like 8 XL, like 8% extra large. And now let me just provide a font of totally bold, and margin for the bottom will be set to 4. And now let me just provide the movies hub. Underneath that, let's just provide our paragraph, and I'm going to be providing my class names to it. So we have a text of 2XL, and now inside there, let me just pass this slogan right here, save my file, and let's just check this out. And we are now getting the set movie year is not defined. So let's just check this out, and it shouldn't be movies but just a movie. Let's just remove that, and now let me just save that. And here you can see it's going to give us that amazing look right here, which is amazing. Now let me just close that, and let's just go back to our topic. So now underneath this paragraph, we're going to be creating another section, and I'm going to just pass the class name of absolute to that, and the bottom will be just set to 5 rem, and it is negative bottom. And now inside there, let me just provide my input field, and then inside there, we're going to be providing a class name of, first of all, the width will be set to totally 100%, and now we also have to provide the height of 5 rem to it, and the border, then we have to pass our padding for the x-axis of 10, and then outline will be set to totally none and totally rounded. Okay, so now let's just save there, and we are now getting this input field right here, which is not looking that cool, but we will take care of that a bit later. And now let me just add my placeholder. So we have a placeholder of search movie. Now underneath this placeholder, let me just pass my value, and it is going to be the movies filter dot search term, TERM. There we go. And now let me just also pass my own change handler to that, which we are going to be creating in a few seconds. So we have a handle search change, and I'm gonna just comment this line out. So let's just save there. Now underneath this section, or not a section, but underneath this input field, we are going to be creating a section, and I'm going to be just adding these clauses to it. Let me just add these clauses, and now inside there we would have first of all our select. So now let me just pass my select. It's not going to take any name and ID, so I'm going to just remove there. It's going to be taking the class name of border, and also padding will be all around set to 2, and let's just provide a rounded. Text will be set to totally black, and I'm going to be also providing the value of movies filter dot selected 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 genre, and then outside from there I'm going to be providing the on change event handler on there, chang. Come on, yeah, there we go. And now let me just provide my event, and now I'm going to be providing my handle genre click, which we are going to be creating in a few seconds. So we have a handle genre click event.target.value inside there. Okay, so now let me just save there, and I'm going to just comment this line out. And now inside this select, we're going to be passing our option. Let's just pass our option, and for the value we are not going to be providing anything to that. Then we have our genres. So now underneath this option, let's just iterate over through all of our genres, and now let's just get a map. And now let me just provide my genre to it, and inside there we are going to be just passing our option once again. So let's just pass our option and close there. I'm going to be also providing the key of that specific genre ID right here, and also the value will be that specific genre and ID. Okay, so now inside there, let me just add my genre dot name. Let's just save there, and here you can see it's going to just make our input field a bit bigger, and it's going to also give us all of their genres which I currently have. Okay, so we took care of that. Now the next thing which I want to do is that underneath this select, we're going to be creating yet another select. So let's just create select, and it is not going to be taking any name or ID, but it will take that same CSS classes. So I'm going to just copy there, and I'm going to just place there right here. And now let me just provide my value, and the value will be the movies filter dot selected selected year in this case. And now let me just pass my on change event handler, and we're going to be just passing the event and also the handle year, come on, year change. And now let me just pass my e dot target dot value in this case. And so now inside this select, we're going to be passing our option, and now let me just pass my year in this case, and for the value which will be totally empty string. And now let me just iterate over through all of my unique years, and then let's just iterate over through there. Let me just pass my year inside there. Let's just pass each of the option for each of the year. Okay, so for the key, we're going to be just passing our year, and now let me just also pass the year for the value as well. And for this label, we're going to be just also passing our unique year. Okay, so let's just save our file, and now let me just comment this line out, save my file, and here you can see it's going to give us that year, and we have all of their years right here. Okay, and they are totally unique, and we don't have any duplicates inside there. And I guess I'm going to also add the margin for the left right here. Okay, so now let me just save that. It's going to give us a bit of spacing right here in this case. Okay, so that's done. Now underneath this select, what do you want to do? We just want to create our final select, and now let me just create that. Let's just remove our name and also the ID from there. We are going to be just attaching that same classes. So I'm going to just copy and place that right here. And now let me just add my value, and for the value let me just pass my movie filter, and then we are going to be just selecting our selected sort. Okay, so let's just use our selected selected sort. And now for the on change, we are going to be just passing our event, and also this handle sort change, something which we are going to be creating in a few seconds. So e dot target dot value. Let's just save there, comment this line out, and now inside this select, we are going to be just passing our option. So now let me just pass my option of with the value of nothing, but we have a sort by, and then I'm going to just duplicate that a few times right here. And now the next one we have is a new movies, movies, and also we have a top movies, and we also have the random movies as well. So now let me just save that, and it's going to give us this input field right here. So we have a new movie, we have the top movie, and we also have the random movies. Okay, so yeah, we are now totally done with that. But now let me just create these what do we call it, these functions. So now let me just start from this first one, which is a handle search change. So I'm going to copy that, and now let me just create that right here. And what I want to do is that I'm going to be just passing my const handle search change, and it's going to be equals to the event. And now inside there, let's just dispatch or set movies filter, not years but set movies filter. And inside there, let's just pass our search term, and this search term will be equals to the e.target and then that specific value. Now underneath that, let's just filter our movies. So I'm going to be using like const filtered movies, and it's going to be equals to the data.filter. And now let me just attach my movie inside there, and movie.name.to lowercase. So we're going to be converting our name to our lowercase, and it shouldn't be movies but just movie, singular movie. Let me just also attach the includes method on there. If it includes the e.target.value.to lowercase, and now let's just execute that. So it's going to only give us that filtered movies. Okay, and now let's just dispatch or store by providing or set filtered movies. And now let me just provide my filtered movies. Okay, so now let me just save that, and we would not able to see anything, not right now, because currently we don't have any data right here. So you know what, let me just take care of that. And what I want to do is that underneath this section and div, I'm going to be creating yet another section, and let's just attach a bit of styling to that. Let me just place the styling, and for the section I'm going to just provide a filtered movies. And now if we have that, then we are going to be iterating over through that. So now let me just attach my movie inside there. Let me just provide my movie card which we already created, and for the key, let me just pass my movie ID, and I'm gonna also pass my movie as a movie. And now let's just close that. So I'm gonna just save that, and here you can see it's gonna give us all of their movies right here. But if I just search for a specific movie, like I don't know, maybe a Spider-Man, so I'm going to just type like a spider, and it's gonna give us their Spider-Man right here. So now let's just close that. And if I just search for like Black Adam, so I'm going to just write a B and we only have one movie right here inside our database by using the B word. So that's why we have our Black Adam right here. So if I just search for a Transformers, TRANS, so it's going to give us that Transformers right here. So let's just go ahead and take care of what do we call it, this handle genre click. Okay, so now let me just copy that, and I'm gonna go to the top, and now let me just take care of that. And this one is quite simple and easy. So what I want to do is that I'm going to just pass my genre click, and it's going to take the genre ID. And now let me just pass my arrow function, and inside there I'm going to be using my filter, come on, filter by genre. And now let me just pass my data.filter, and we're going to be filtering through all of the movies, I mean like their data. And now let me just get my movie dot genre is triple equals to the genre ID. So we only need that specific movie. So I'm gonna just write like dispatch and set filtered movies. And now let me just pass my filter by genre. So now let me just save that, and now let me just refresh that. So it's gonna give us all of their movies. But if I click on this genre, and if I select like I don't know, maybe the action, so it's gonna only give us their action movies. And if I click on the comedy, so it's gonna only give us that comedy. This is not a comedy movie, but I just put that inside a comedy category or genre, so that's why we're now getting that. So now let me just click on the adventure, so it's gonna give us that adventure movie. If I click on the horror, it's not gonna give us anything because we don't have any horror movies. If I click on the romance and watch what happened, it's gonna give us that Saw movie because I already put that in the romance. But anyways, you get the idea. So here you can see it's gonna give us all of their action movies. Now let me just take care of this one, which is called the handle year. So I'm gonna copy the name of that, and now let me just go to the top and create that right here. And let's just create our handle year change, and it's gonna take the year. And now let me just pass my arrow function right here, and const filtered or filter by year is going to be equals to the data.filter, and I'm going to be just passing my movie, and movie.year is triple equals to, and now we have to convert this year from the string to a number. So to do that, we can either use the number constructor or we can just use a plus right here. Okay, so now let me just pass that as a dispatch, and let's just use our set filtered movies. And now let me just pass my filter by year. So now let me just save that. Let's just refresh that, and now if I click on the year, if I click on the 2004, so it's going to give us there Jonathan Wick, and then we have a 2009, and we can just click on that and it's going to give us all of that movies based on a specific year right here. Okay, so yeah, that was filtered by year. And now finally, let me just take care of this one, and this is going to require a lot more coding than the other one. So now let me just copy there, and now let's just take care of this one. So underneath this handle year change, we're going to be creating our handle sort change. Now let me just write const handle sort change. It's going to be equals to the sort option. Okay, so sort option, and now let me just provide my switch statement. You can use like the if and else statement if you wanted to, but in my case I'm going to be using my switch statement. And now let me just provide my sort option. And now for the new, what do you want to do? We just want to dispatch. Let's just dispatch or store by providing a set filter movies, and I'm going to be just providing a set, like new movies. And now I'm going to copy there, and for this one, I'm going to just duplicate that a few times. So we have a new. Now the next one we have is the top, and for that we are going to be just passing the top movies. Come on, top movies. We already have that, didn't we? Let's just check this out. So we have that. We have a new movie, and we're not grabbing the top movies. So now let me just take care of that. Underneath this one, we're going to be also destructuring our data. And now let me just grab my top movies. It's going to be coming from the use get top movies query. And now let's just save that. Underneath that, let's just go to the bottom, and we're now going to be passing our top movies. And finally, let's just add another one for the random. So now let me just change that to random, and I'm going to be also passing my random movies. And for the default state, what do you want to do? We just want to dispatch or set, set filter movies, and let's just empty that. So now let me just save that and refresh my browser. So it's going to give us all of their movies, but if I click on sorted by new movies, so it's going to just give us nothing because we made some mistake. Okay, so we have a new one. Are we even providing that or not? Let's just check this out. Oh, we are not providing anything inside there. So this is going to be the new one, this is going to be the top one, and this is going to be the random one. Okay, so now let me just save that, and now let me just refresh there. So it's going to give us all of their movies, but if I click on that and if I click on the new movie, so it's going to give us all of the latest movies. But if I click on there and click on the top movies, so it's going to only give us the top movies. And then if I click on there and click on the random movies, so it's going to just give us that random movies. If I just refresh them, and if I just click on there once again, let me just click on there once again, so it's going to just give us that John Wick one more time. Let me just refresh there once again, and now let me just click on there and click on the random, so it's going to just give us that random movies. So now let me just refresh there once again, and now if I click on the random, so it's going to just give us the Flash, John Wick, and all of that. So yeah, we are now totally done with all of their movies. So I can totally search for a movie like I don't know, Black Adam. So now let me just write like a black, so it's going to give us that Black Adam. And I can also search by year or genre or anything like that. So yeah, that was it about all of the movies. That's cool, but now let's take care of a specific movie detail. So I'm going to just click on this Jonathan Wick right here. So here you can see it's going to just give us that specific movie and ID. So now let me just create a new component right here inside my component folder, and not in the component folder but inside my movies folder right here inside there. Okay, so I'm going to be just creating a component. I'm going to just give it the name of like movie details.jsx right here. Now let me just use my RAFCE, register there, save my file, and now let's just go ahead and go to my main, and now let me just register there right in here. Okay, so I'm going to just duplicate this line of code, and I'm going to just write my movie detail, and if I hit enter, so it's going to auto import there for me. And now let me just remove all of that, and I'm going to also remove the admin right here in this case. And now let me just pass my movies and then a specific ID right here. So now let me just save that, and here you can see we are now getting our movie detail right here, which is totally amazing. Okay, so now let me just go ahead and go inside this component, and now let me just take care of that. Okay, let's just zoom in a bit, and the first thing we would need is the use stat like that. and we would also need the use param and also the link. So now let me just write a link, and we would grab that from the React router and DOM. Okay, now underneath that we are going to be also grabbing our use selector, so that it will allows us to select our data from the Redux toolkit. So now let me just use the React Redux, and we're going to be grabbing that from the React Redux. Now let me just also grab my toast, and it's going to be coming from the React Toastify. And now underneath that we would also need something from the Redux toolkit. So now let me just go ahead and go to my Redux, and then I'm going to go ahead and go to the API and then movies. Okay, now inside there what I want to do, I want to get my use get specific movie query and also the use add movie review mutation as well, and that's every single thing that we currently need for now. Now let me just save that, and now inside this movie detail, what do you want to do? We first of all want to grab the ID, and I'm going to just rename that to like movie ID. It's going to be coming from the use params, and now let me just execute that. Now inside there we would also want to get the rating and also the set rating. Okay, and it's going to be coming from the use stat, and now let me just paste 0 inside there, the initial stat. Now let me just also create a stat for the comment and set comment, as well. It's going to be coming from the use stat, not selector but use stat, and we are going to be providing the initial value of totally empty string. And now let me just destructure my data, and I'm going to just rename that to movie, and we are going to be refetching that. So it's going to just give us all of the latest movies, and we are going to be grabbing that from the use get specific movie query. And now let me just pass my movie ID inside there. So we are now requiring a specific ID right here. In this case we are now getting that ID, and we are now passing that ID right here. So now underneath that we would also want to get a specific user information as well. So we're going to be getting that by using the use selector selector hook right here. And now let me just pass my stat, and now let me just get that from the stat.auth. Okay, now underneath that we're going to be also destructuring or create review, and also let me just destructure my is loading, and I'm going to just rename that to like loading movie review. There we go, and it's going to be coming from the use add movie, and there we go. Okay, so it's gonna just auto complete that for me. And now let me just save that, let me just go back, and yeah, that's it. But now let me just take care of my JSX, and the first thing which I want to do is that I want to make it as total the React fragments. So now inside there we're going to be creating our div, and now inside this div we're going to be creating our link, and it's going to be going into the home. Okay, and now inside there I'm going to also add the styling to it, and now inside there it's going to just say like go back. And now let me just save this file, and here you can see we are now getting this go back button right here, which is totally looking amazing. Now underneath this div we are going to be creating yet another div, and I'm going to just provide the class names of like margin for the top will be set to true rem. And now inside this div we are going to be creating yet another div. Let's just do that, and I'm going to be providing these classes to it. And now let me just provide my image, and that image will take the source of let me just provide this, god damn it, the movie. If we have that, we are going to be grabbing the image from there. And for the alternative text we're going to be providing our movie. If we have that, we are going to be grabbing the name from there. Now let me just provide a class names to that. So we are going to be providing the width of 70%, and now let's just close that and totally rounded. Okay, now let me just save that, and here you can see we are now getting this Jonathan, which is looking totally amazing. So now underneath that we are going to be creating yet another div. So I'm going to just give it the name of like container1, and now underneath that we're going to be creating yet another div. And now let me just style that, and now inside that we're going to be creating our section. And now inside this section let me just provide my h2, and for the label we're going to be providing the movie. If we have the movie, we're going to be providing the specific name. Let me just add the styling to that. Let's just add that right here. And now underneath this h2 we are going to be creating yet another paragraph, and here let me just get the movie detail right, not just the details but just a singular details, and I'm going to also style that right here as well. Now let me just save that, and here you can see we are now getting the movie name and also the movie description, which is also looking totally amazing. So now underneath this section what do you want to do? We just want to create a div, and I'm going to be just providing a class name of margin for the right of 5 rem. And now let me just close that, and now inside there we are going to be creating our paragraph, and it's going to just say text of 2XL, and I'm going to be also providing the font of semi-bold. And now inside there I'm going to just say like releasing, releasing that will be the movie, if we have there, we are going to be getting the year from there. Now let me just save there. And now underneath this paragraph, we're going to be creating yet another div, and inside this div we're going to be just iterating over through all of the movies, and I just want to get a specific cast. And now let me just iterate over through there, and now let me just provide a specific cast inside there. And now I'm going to be just creating a UL. Let's just create our UL right here, and now let me just close that as well. And I'm going to be passing the key and the specific cast ID. Now inside there we're going to be also creating our li, and now let me just pass my character, what the hell, the cast. Now let me just provide the class name of margin for the top of 1 rem, and now let me just save there. And here you can see we are now getting all of that cast right here, and we are also getting the releasing date. Okay, so yeah, that's looking totally cool. Now underneath this div we're going to be creating yet another div, which will be for the movie tabs. Okay, so now let me just create a div. I'm gonna just give it the name of like, or you know what, a class name of container, and margin for the left will be set to 20 rem. And now let me just close that, and inside there we are going to be creating our movie not detail but movie tabs component in a few seconds. But I'm gonna just pass a few props. So we have a loading movie review, is going to be equals to that loading movie review right here. And now let me just pass the user info. It's going to take the user info, and I'm going to also pass the submit handler, and it's going to be also equals to this submit handler, which we're going to be creating in a few seconds. And now let me just also provide the rating, and the rating will be equals to the rating as well. And now we have a set rating, and it's going to be also set to the set rating. And now I'm going to be also passing the comment, and let's just pass the comment prop, and we have a set comment prop, and I'm going to be also providing the set comment prop right here. And finally let me just pass the movie and movie. So now if I save that, and we did not create none of these stuff, I'm gonna just comment this line out, and now let me just create this component. And inside this movies folder I'm gonna be creating a component, give it the name of like movie tabs.jsx, and I'm going to just write that RAFCE. And now let me just save that, and let's just go back to our component, and now let me just auto grab that. So now let me just save that, and let's just destructure all of that stuff. Well, you know, first of all we would need a link. So now let me just grab the link by using just React router DOM. That's totally cool. And now let's just destructure all of that things. So we would need the user info, come on, the user info. We would also need the submit handler, and the comment, set comment, and also the movie itself. So now let me just save that, and now let me just use all of that right here. So I'm going to just remove that, and inside this div we're going to be creating our section, and inside this section, now let's just check if we have the user info. We're going to be passing this content, and inside there I'm going to be just passing the form right here. We're not going to be providing any action to that. And now I'm going to be also attaching the on submit handler on there, on submit, and that submit handler will be submit handler right here. And now inside this form we are going to be just providing the label, and it's going to just say the comment. Okay, and I'm going to also provide the class name of block, and text will be set to extra large, and margin for the bottom will be set to 2, and as a label we would just say like write your review. There we go. And now let me just save there, but we would also have to take care of the else clause, and we're not going to be providing anything for now. Let's just provide an empty string for now. So now let me just save there, and here you can see we are now getting write your review, okay, which is looking totally amazing. But now underneath this label, what do you want to do? First of all, we're going to be creating our text area, and we're not going to be providing any of that stuff. So let's just remove that, and I'm going to be just passing the ID of comment, and also the rows will be set to 3, and I'm going to be also making it so it should be required. And also let's just provide a value to that, and the value will be set to comment. And now when somebody change that, we're going to be just passing the event object, and set comment will be now equals to the e.target.value. And now let me just save that, and underneath this on change, now let me just pass these classes right here. We're not going to be typing anything inside there, and we're going to be also creating a button. So you know what, I just made a mistake. Let me just wrap that inside the div. So I'm going to be creating a div, and now let me just provide a class name of margin for the y-axis will be set to 2, and now let me just cut that from here, And now underneath this text area, I'm going to be just placing my div right here. And now underneath this text area, we're going to be also creating a button. So now let me just create a button. I'm going to be providing the type of submit to there. And now let me just add a few classes right here. Or you know what, let me just copy and place there. Place there right here. Save our file. For the label, I'm going to just place the submit, and now let's just save there. And here you can see we are getting our text area, and we are also getting that button, but you cannot see that. You know what, we're going to take care of that in a few seconds. But yeah, that's when we have the user information. This is going to be the form which we are going to be providing. But if we don't have the user information, then we're going to be taking care of that right now. So I'm not going to do anything crazy, but I'm going to just provide a paragraph which will just say please, and then visit to this link. Okay, so just provide a to, and should go to the login page. And now inside there, we would just say sign in. Okay, and now let me just pass my to write a review. Okay, review, and now let me just save there. And we cannot see that because we are already logged in. And yeah, that's there. Now underneath this section, what do you want to do? We just want to create another section, and now let me just provide a classes to that. So the class will be just margin for the top will be set to 3 rem, and I'm going to be also providing the div. Now let's just provide a div, and this div will say if we have the movies, then we're going to be getting the reviews. And then let's just check the length, and if the length is triple equals to 0, then we have to provide this paragraph which will say like no reviews. Like if you don't have any reviews, then we're going to be providing this paragraph which will just say like no reviews. And what is wrong? Movie review is missing a proper data. We don't have to worry about that. What the hell? Now underneath that, we're going to be creating our new div, and inside that, let's just pass our movie. And if we have the movie reviews, and now let's just iterate over through there. Let me just pass a specific review inside there, and now inside there, let's just pass our arrow function, and I'm going to just passing the div. Come on, let's just pass the div, and I'm going to close there. God, let's just close that like that. And now let me just also pass the review and a specific review ID. And now inside there, I'm going to be also providing a bit of classes to them. And now let me just pass all of their classes. Now inside this div, we're going to be creating our div with the class of flex, and justify will be set to between. Okay, and now inside there, let's just provide our strong tag, and inside there we'll just say the review dot name, like the person who is doing their review. And I'm going to just passing the class name of text and b0, come on. And I'm going to just copy there for a few times. So we have 1, 2, and 3, and now let me just close there. Okay, so now underneath there, we're going to be creating our paragraph, and I'm going to copy this entire class from there. And now let me just paste there, and inside this paragraph you would say the review, come on, review, and when that review was created, so we have a created ad, and let's just provide our sub string inside there, and I'm going to be passing the 0 and 10. Okay, so now let me just save there, and we don't have any reviews, so we cannot see that right now, but we will create a review in a few seconds. Okay, so now underneath this paragraph, or even underneath this div, we're going to be just creating another paragraph which will just say the review comment data. Okay, and now let me just also add the margin for the y-axis will be now set to 4. Now let me just save there and test every single thing out. Okay, so here you can see we have our come on, we have our input field right here. So I can just write like this is one of the greatest, come on, greatest movies so far. Let me just make that a bit smaller because I cannot see that button. Let me just make that totally smaller. We are doing something wrong. I'm gonna open my inspect element, and now let's just go ahead and go to my network tab, and I'm going to just provide the review of like something. Now let me just click on the submit. So what just happened? Are you even providing the reviews? Let's just refresh there. What is going on? Oh, that's because we did not create anything like any handler for that. I just realized, I thought I just made a mistake, but I didn't. Now let me just make that a bit bigger, and now let me just take care of all of that event handlers. Now let me just close there, and I'm going to also uncomment that right here, save my file. I'm going to copy the name of there, And now I'm gonna go to the top, and now let me just create that submit handler. So we have a const submit handler, and it's going to be an asynchronous function. Now let me just provide my event object, and we have event prevent default, and now let me just execute that. And now underneath there, we're going to be using our try and catch block. For the catch block, we're going to be just passing like toast of error, and now let me just say error if we have one. So we're going to be just getting the data from there. Otherwise, we just have to show the error message, MESSAGE. And if that's not the case, so for the try block, we're going to be just creating our review. So let's just write a create review, and inside there we just have to pass the ID, which will be the movie ID, and also I'm going to be passing the rating and also the comment as well. Now let me just provide my unwrap to that, and I'm going to be also fetching all of that data. So let's just use a refetch, and now let's just execute that. And finally, we're going to be just also showing some sort of a toast to the user. So we have a toast.success, and I'm going to just say like review review created successfully. Okay, so CREATED, there we go. Now let me just save there, and now we would be able to add the review. So what I want to do is that I just wanted to show you where is that button. Oh my god, I cannot see that. But I don't know what the hell is going on right here. I must have provided that button inside there, and yep, I guess I did. Let's just see where is our button. Let's just search for that. We don't have that button right here, but I'm gonna have to go ahead and go to my component, which we have that movie tab, and now let me just search for a button right here, and we have that right here. So underneath this text area, we are now providing our button, but now let me just cut that from here, and underneath this div, now let me just paste that, and here you can see, there we go. And our button is looking amazing. And now let me just provide a review right here finally. So I'm going to just say like, this is one of the greatest action movie so far. I don't care about the spelling. And now let me just click on submit, and here you can see we are getting our toast, and we are also getting like who is doing that review, and we are also getting the review comment, and we can also see that, what do we call it, that specific date. So what I want to do is that I'm going to just log out, and I'm going to just log in as someone else, like I don't know, mango@gmail.com, and let's just provide the mango12, and the password is invalid. I don't know which kind of password I provide. MANGO12312. Yep, nothing is working. So I'm gonna just log in as Alex, maybe alex@gmail.com, and let me just provide alex12, and now let me just click on sign in. All of their user not found. I just forgot the passwords and email of the users because it took me a lot of time to record all of their videos. So we have a James. Now let me just log in as James. Let's just try that. So we have a james@gmail.com, and we have a james12, and now let me just sign in, and there we have it. Okay, and now what I want to do is that I'm gonna just click on there, and now let me just go to a specific movie like John Wick one more time, and we have a bug. If I click on there, it's gonna just reload the page, and I don't know why. Let me just try this out, and I just found out the bug. And the bug was when I log out, and when I log in as someone else, like in my case, I'm gonna just log in as james@gmail.com, and we have james12, and if I log in, and now if I click on a specific movie, we cannot go to that movie. But now let me just log out, and now let me just log in as Hossein, which is an admin, and if I just write Hossein12, and here now if I click on a specific movie, so it will brings us to that specific movie right here. So now let me just log out and show you where in the world was that error. So now let me just log in as james@gmail.com, and let's just log in as james@gmail.com, and now let me just write a james12. Now let me just log in there, and now if I click on a specific movie, we cannot go to there. That's because I made a mistake right here inside this main. I'm gonna cut this line of code from here, and now let me just make that as a public so that everybody can access that specific movies. Now let me just save there. And now if I refresh that, and here you can see if I click on a specific movie, so now we can totally go to the specific movie. So now let me just go back and write or review. So I'm now logged in as James, and I'm gonna just write a review for this movie. So I'm gonna just say like, yeah, best action movie so far. And now let me just click on submit, and here you can see that review is added, and we have that we have that review right here, so which is made by Hussein, and we have that specific comment, and we also have their date when this review was added. So now let me just log out and log in as someone else, like I don't know how many people we have inside our database. Let me just check this out. I'm gonna go ahead and log in as Jordan, and now let me just write jordan@gmail.com and Jordan and 12. Let me just go ahead and go to my Jonathan Wick, and I can just write like one of the awful movies. So god damn far. Now if I click on that, so Jordan is a bit rude, and here you can see we are now getting his review right here. So yeah, that's cool. But if I try to add some other review right here, like I don't know, or something wrong or something like that, and we are already logged in this Jordan, and we already reviewed this movie. But if I try to add another review, and if I click on this submit handler, so it's gonna give us like movie already reviewed. And now let me just go back and review some other movie, like I don't know, maybe a Flash. I'm gonna just click on that, and now let me just review this movie, so something good or something like that. And now let me just click on that, and here you can see we can totally add reviews to all of their movies. So yeah, that was it about how we're going to be taking care of all of that stuff. So that was about the movie detail, and now let me just take care of the movie's comments. So what I want to do is that I'm going to go ahead and go to my page, and inside this page we are going to be going into the admin, and inside this ad we're going to be creating a file. I'm going to just name it as all comments.jsx, and I'm going to be using the RAFCE to read RAFCE. And now let me just save that. I'm gonna copy that from here, and now let me just register that right here, and it is going to be only for the admin. So now let me just duplicate that, and I'm gonna be pasting my all comments, and now let me just import that right here, and I'm gonna be also removing all of that, and I'm going to just write like movies, and then we have a comments right here. So now let me just save that, and I'm going to copy that from here. And first of all, I'm going to log in as an admin, then we would be able to see that. So now let me just log out and log in as an admin. So I'm going to be using Hussein12. Let's just log in, and now I'm going to be just providing this link right here, which is admin in movies and then comments. Now if I hit enter, so it's going to just give us all of their comments. So now let me just go back, and now let me just take care of that. So the first thing which I want to do is that I want to grab a few hooks from my RTK query. So let's just go ahead and go to our admin, like Redux, and then we have to go to the movies, and we are going to be grabbing the use delete comment mutation and use get all movies query. Okay, so now underneath that we are going to be also getting the toast from where, from the React. Now inside this all comments, I'm going to be just destructuring my data, and now let me just rename that to movies, and we are going to be refetcs. So we are going to be refetching that from where, from the use get all movies query. Okay, so now the next thing which you have to do is that we have to also destructure or delete comment from where, from or use delete comment mutation. Okay, and now let me just use that. So what I want to do is that I'm going to just remove this all comments, and now inside there, now let me just provide a movie. If you have that, we're going to be iterating over through all of their movies, and now let me just pass my movie inside there. Okay, and now inside there we're going to be also passing a section, and for each of these section I'm going to be passing the key, and the key will be movie and the specific movie ID. Okay, so let's just pass the M, and there we go. And now let me just also style that a bit. Now inside this section we're going to be just checking the movies if we have that, and then a specific review from that specific movie, and we're going to be iterating over through all of their reviews. Let me just pass the review, and I'm going to just provide a div right here, and inside this div let's just pass our key, and for the key we are going to be passing our review dot specific review ID, and I'm going to also style that. And now let me just style that, and inside this div, now let me just save that, and inside this div we're going to be creating yet another div with a class of flex, and justify will be set to between. And now inside there we are going to be also creating our strong tag, and it will be just a text of, let's just change that to like b0, and I'm gonna just copy that 3 times. And now let me just pass my review dot name right here inside the review. And now let me just also pass a paragraph, and we would also want to get the review and then the created ad, and also substring there to 0 and 10. And now let me just also style there. So I'm going to be just passing this same text of this same color. So now let me just copy that from here, and I'm going to just place that right here, save my file. And here you can see we're getting all of their comments, and we can get the name and also the specific date when this comment was created. Now underneath this div, which is underneath the paragraph, we're going to be creating yet another div, not a div but paragraph. And now let me just pass the review and that comment which was made. And now let me just pass like my margin for the y-axis of 4, and now let me just save that. And here you can see we are now also getting this specific comment as well. And now let's just take care of how we are going to be deleting that specific comment. So I'm going to just press a button, and it will just say delete for now, and I'm going to be just passing the on click event handler to that, and which will just say there delete a comment. So handle delete, come on, handle delete comment, which we're going to be creating in a few seconds. And now let me just pass my movie and specific movie ID and then the review, and let's just pass that. Okay, and now I'm going to also style that a bit. So I'm going to just pass my class name of text will be set to totally red of 500. And yeah, now let me just save that, and now let me just create that what do we call it? Now let me just create this hook, right? Not hook. God, I just forgot the name of that event handler. There we go. And now let's just create that right in here. So it's going to be an asynchronous function, and now it's going to take the movie ID and the review ID as well. Okay, so we already passed that as an argument, and now let me just pass my try and catch block. For the catch block, we would just say like console.error and error deleting comment. And now we are going to be also providing our error right here. And for the try block, what do you want to do? We just want to await and delete comment. And now let me just pass my movie ID and also my review ID as well. Now underneath that, let me just pass my toes.success, and also we will say like comment deleted. And now underneath there, let's just refetch every single thing and save that. And here you can see we have this delete button right here, but now if I click on that, so it's gonna just remove that comment from here. If I want to just remove this Jordan comment, so I'm gonna just click on that, and it's gonna totally remove that. So yeah, that was it about all of that comment and how we're going to be just deleting a specific comment. And welcome to the last part of this project. In this one, we're going to be just taking care of the dashboard. So now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and go to my main, and now let me just create my dashboard, and it's gonna be totally complex. Like we're going to be creating a lot of components, and yeah, you will see there. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my front end, then go to my source, then go to my pages, then the admin, and now inside there, let me just create a separate folder, and I'm gonna just rename that to dashboard. Okay, so I'm gonna just hit enter right here, and inside this folder we're going to be creating our admin dashboard.jsx. Now inside there we're going to be just writing like RAFCE, save my file, and now let me just register there right here inside this main. So let me just duplicate this line of code, and I'm gonna just say like admin dashboard, and it's gonna auto import that for me, and I'm going to just delete that from here. And admin, let's just go ahead and go to the movies, then we want to go to the dashboard, and I'm going to just put that right here at the top. And now let me just save that. And now if I click on this drop down menu, and if I click on this dashboard, so it's gonna just brings us to this dashboard right here. Okay, so yeah, that's looking cool. And now let me just take care of that right here. So the first thing which I want to do is that I want to delete that, and I'm going to just make it as a React fragment, and inside that we are going to be rendering two components, which will be the sidebar. And now let's just close that, and we are going to be also rendering the main. Let me just save that, and now let me just create both of them. Now inside this dashboard folder, we are going to be creating two nested folder, which will be for the main, and also one will be for the sidebar. So we would have a sidebar, and now let me just hit enter right here. And the first thing which I want to do is that I want to create this sidebar component. So now let me just create a sidebar.jsx, and now let me just use the RAFCE, save my file, and I'm going to be also creating my main.jsx component. And now let me just also create that, save my file, and now let me just go ahead and go to my admin dashboard, and now let's just import that right in here. Okay, so let's just import both of them, save our file, and here you can see we are now getting the sidebar and also the main component. So we're not going to be doing anything craziness, but we are going to be just styling there. Okay, so now let me just go ahead and go to my sidebar, and the first thing we would need is the link. So now let me just grab my link. Let's just grab there from the React Router DOM, and now inside there let's just save there, and I'm gonna just remove this sidebar right here, and I'm gonna be placing a lot of Tailwind CSS classes. So now let me just paste there, and also let me just create a side inside there, and I'm gonna also style there. So now let me just style there, and now inside this aside we're going to be creating our UL, and I'm going to just provide the padding of for the y-axis of 4, and now inside there we're going to be creating our li once again. And now let me just also style there, so I'm going to also style there. Okay, and now inside there we are going to be also creating our link, and now let me just provide a specific path where it should go. So we're going to be providing the admin and then movies, and then it should go to the dashboard. And now let me just provide dashboard, and now let me just also add a few classes to it. So we have a block, we have a padding for all around of 2, margin for the left will be 20, margin for the bottom will be set to 10. So now let me just save that, and here you can see we are now getting this dashboard right here, but we are now also getting our main right here. Okay, so if I click on this, so it's going to just brings us to this dashboard right here. Okay, so that was the first link, and I'm going to just duplicate there 4 times. So we have this li, I'm going to just copy there, and that was the one. So we would have to just 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So we will leave the styling as it is. So the first one we have is a dashboard, and then we have the create movie. So now let me just change that to create movie, and I'm going to also change that from admin movies and dashboard to create. There we go. And now underneath there we have another dashboard, and I'm going to just make that as create genre, and I'm going to just change that to genre like so. And yeah, that's cool. But now let me just also take care of the update movie. So we would also have the update movie, and also let me just go to I'm going to just remove that from here, and it's gonna just brings us to the movies list right here. And now let me just save that, and let me just also go ahead and go to my dashboard once again, and the final one we would have is for the comments. Okay, so now let me just click on this dashboard and change that to comments, and now let me just save this file, and now let's just check all of that. And here you can see we have all of their dashboards right here, but that's not something that I want. What I want to do is that I just have to change the styling. So instead of writing these stylings, so I'm going to just leave the first one as it is, but for the second one, which we have is the create movie, I'm going to just select the styling, hit Control D, Control D, Control D one more time, and I'm going to just place these stylings. So now let me just paste there, and here you can see we are now providing, when somebody hover over there, then we are providing a gradient to the bottom from the green to the lamp of 400. So now let me just save that, and here you can see it's gonna just gives us their dashboard. But if I click on this create movie, so it's gonna just brings us to this create movie right here. Then if I click on the create genre, so it's gonna just brings us to there. If I go to the update movie, so it's gonna just gives us the list of all of that movies. So we can update a movie, we can delete a movie if you wanted to. And now let me just also go to the comments, so it's gonna also gives us that comment section right here. So from there we can totally see all of the comments, or we can totally delete all of the comments. And now let me just take care of this main area, and trust me, it's gonna be a lot more fun than the rest of them. So I'm going to just close all of that, and now inside this main we already create our main right here, but I'm going to be creating a lot more components. Okay, so the first thing which I want to do is that I want to create a primary card.jsx. Then I'm going to be also, or you know what, let me just add my RAFC manually. So now let me just write my RAFC server file, and now let me just create another component for the real-time card.jsx, and I'm going to be just passing my RAFC server file. And now let me just create here another component for the secondary card.jsx, and I'm going to be just passing the RAFC save my file. And now we're going to be also providing the video card.jsx, and now let me just write the RAFC save my file. Let's just close there. Let me just go back, and now let's get into the main and start working with the main. So the first thing which I would do is that I'm going to be grabbing my secondary card CARD from where, from let's just go ahead and go to the secondary card, and I'm going to be also grabbing my video card. I guess I didn't create the video card. Let me just also do that. So we would also create the video card.jsx as well. Video card yeah, we already have that. We already created that right here, but now let me just grab that. So we have a video card, and we're going to be grabbing that from the video card. Okay, now the next thing which you have to do is that we also have to grab a real-time card. From where? From, let's just go ahead and go to the real-time card. Now let me just use my RTK hooks right here. So we are going to be also importing something from, let's just go ahead and go to our Redux. Redux. Oh my god, why in the world? Let's just go back 3 times, and now let me just not here. Let's just go one more time, and there we have it. Then we have to write the Redux, then we have to go ahead and go to the API, and then we have to go to the movies. So I'm going to just duplicate this template like 3 times, and I'm going to be just passing the users in this case, and also the movies as well. But you know, we don't have to do this. So now let me just cut that from here, and we are going to be grabbing the use get top movies query, and we will also get the use get all movies query from there. And now inside this users, what do you want to do? We just want to get like use get users query. So why it's not giving us the users query? Let me just test this out. So I'm going to just comment this line out, and I'm going to go ahead and go to my users and check if we have the use get all the users query or not. And yep, indeed we don't have that. And what I want to do is that underneath this profile, now let me just create my endpoint right here and get users, and we are going to be using our builder.query. And now let me just pass the query, and let me just pass my endpoint right here, which will be the URL, and we're going to be just providing the users URL right here. So now let me just save that, and now finally, now let me just export that right here. So I'm going to be just using like use get users query. So now let me just copy that, save this file, and I'm going to just uncomment this line out, and I'm going to be just placing my use get all use get users query right here. Now let me just save that. So that's all the thing that we currently need for now. And now let me just destructure all of that content. So we are going to be just destructuring our data, and I'm going to just rename that to like top movies, and then we are going to be just using like use get top movies query. And now let me just also destructure my data once again, and I'm going to just rename that to like visitors. It's going to be equals to the use get users query. And now let me just execute that. We are going to be also destructuring all of the movies, and I'm going to just write a use get all movies query, and now that's it. But you know, first of all, let me just also make a variable for total comments length. Come on, TOTL, and then COMMENTSLANGTH. It's going to be equals to all movies. And now we are going to be just iterating over through all of the movies by using the map. And now let me just pass the movie, and inside there we are going to be just getting the number of comments. So we have a num reviews, there we go. And now underneath that we're going to be just getting the sum of comments length. Okay, and now it's going to be equals to the total comments length, like this variable, which will only give us all of the reviews. And now we have to just use our reduce method on that, and let's just provide our accumulator and also the length as well. Let me just go back, and now here we're going to be just adding the accumulator plus the length as well, and I'm going to be also providing the comma of 0 at the end. Okay, so yeah, that's that. Now let me just save this file, and now let's just use that. So what I want to do is that I want to go ahead and go to my main, and I'm going to be creating a section. And for this section, now let me just pass my flex, and justify will be set to around in this case. And now let me just also add my margin for the left of 14 rem. Come on, rem. And I'm going to be also providing margin for the top of 10. And inside there, let me just create a div, and I'm going to be passing the class name of translate translate for the x-axis of 4. And now let me just also pass the flex, and now let me just use my secondary card, and let's just close that. So for the secondary card, we are going to be providing these props. So now let me just provide the pill, and the pill will be users for the first one, and also let me just provide the content, and the content will be visitors. And now let me just provide the length of their visitors, and now let me just provide the info. You can provide anything you want, but in my case I'm going to just pass like 20.2k and more than usual USU. Come on, USUL, there we go. And I'm going to be also passing the gradient. So gradient will be from teal of 500 to the lime 400. Okay, so now let me just save this file, and I'm going to just duplicate that for a few times, like 3 times would be fine. So we have the second one. For the second one, I'm going to be just passing the comments, and now let me just pass the sum of all the comments. So now let me just remove that. So we have sum of all comments, and then let's just remove this info from here, and I'm going to be just passing like 7 for 2.8 more than usual. And let's just change this one to from this color of gradient, which is CCC 514 to this color. So now let me just pass the CDC B add E. There we go. And now let me just save that. This is going to be the second color, or gradient rather. And now let me just also provide the movies, and then we have to just remove that, and all movies, if we have that, we are going to be getting the length from there. And now let me just change that to 372 plus more than USUAL. And now let me just pass the gradient of from green of 500 to the lime of 400. Okay, so now if I save that, nothing will happen because we did not create these components. So now let me just save that, and let's just take care of the secondary card. I'm gonna go to that, and now let me just take care of that. So it's gonna take the props of, first of all, the pill, then the content, then the info, and the gradient. Okay, and now inside there, let me just remove this secondary, and I'm going to be just providing this class name to that. So let's just remove that. Let me just save that, and here you can see we are now going to be passing that gradient, which we are already taking right here. So we have GRADIENT. So now we are passing that gradient dynamically, and the rest of them will be the same. Now inside this div, we are going to be creating yet another div, and now we are going to be just rendering the pill inside the props which you are already providing to there, but I'm going to be also providing a classes to there. So now let me just go ahead and provide these classes. So now let's just save there, and now underneath this div, what do you want to do? We just want to create another div, and inside this div we are going to be creating our h2. And now let me just provide first of all the content inside there, and now let me just style there. So let's just provide this styling to it, and for the h2 let me just provide a space, and I'm going to be passing these styling to it. So now let me just save this file, and now underneath this div we are going to be just creating our final div, which will be for the info. Okay, so now let me just render the info, and also let me just provide these styling to it. So let's just pass this styling. Let's just provide this, save my file, and now let's just test this out. You can see it's going to give us all of that secondary cards. So we have for the users, then we have for the comments, and we also have for the movies. Okay, so we have 10 movies inside our database, we have 2 comments for all of the movies, and we have 7 users inside our database. So yeah, that was for the secondary card. Now let me just remove that, and now let me just go to the bottom, and now underneath this div let me just create another div, and now let me just style that. And inside this div we're going to be creating our paragraph, which will say like top content, and also let's just create another paragraph for the comments as well. Underneath this div we're going to be iterating over through all of the top movies. So now let me just iterate over through there by using the map, and now let me just paste the movie name, and inside there we are going to be just rendering our video card. And now let me just close that. First of all, let me provide the key, and the key was movie and specific movie ID. And now let me just provide the image and the movie image, and I'm going to be also providing the title, and the title was movie name, and also the date when this was released. So now let me just paste the movie.year, and also we have a comments as well, and we have a movie and then number of reviews. So now let me just save that, and now let me just go ahead and go to this movie, like video card, and now let me just take care of that. Okay, so now let me just save that. First thing we would do is that we would destructure the image, the title, and also the date, and also the comments as well. And now let me just use that right here. So I'm going to just make that as a React fragments, and inside that we're going to be just creating a div with a class of flex, and items will be now set to center. And I'm going to be also providing the width of let me just provide the 90%, and also margin for the top will be set to 5. And now inside that let me just provide a div, and for this div we are going to be also rendering the image. And now I'm going what the hell was that? Oh god. Let me just provide the image right here inside there, and for the alternative text I'm going to just paste like card image or something like that. And I'm going to also provide a class to it. So class will say like height will be set to 3 rem. Okay, so now let me just save that, and that's not something that I want. That's not something that I want. So now let me just try that. And here you can see we are now writing outside from there. Now let me just cut all of that stuff from here. And now underneath this div, let me just place that. Okay, so if I just place it right here, save my file, and here you can see it is still looking bad, but I'm gonna just take care of that in a few seconds. So bear with me for a second. So now let me just go ahead and go to my video, and underneath this div, what I want to do, I want to just create a div with a class of margin for the left of 4, and now inside there, let me just put a h2 right here, and now let me just render the title and also the paragraph, and paragraph will just say the date. And now underneath this div, we are going to be creating yet another div, and now let's just create a div for the comments right here. So now let me just provide a bit of classing to this one, and also to this one as well. And now let me just add classes to this one. So now let me just save that, and we only added classes to this data right here. Okay, so I want you to write that as well. And here you can see this is how everything looks like. So it's going to give us all of their movies, and it's going to also give us all of their movies comments. So here you can see for the first movie we have only 2 comments, and for the rest of them we did not even create any comments, so that's why we cannot see that. So yeah, this is how we are going to be taking care of the video card. And now let me just take care of the final one, which will be underneath this div. And now let me just create a div, and inside there let's just place our real-time card, and I'm gonna just save that. And now let me just go inside there, and inside there, that's going to be the final component. So let's just grab something from let's just go ahead and go to our Redux like 3 times. Not like that, but I guess 4 times. And then we have to go to the API, then we have to go to the users, and I'm going to be destructuring the use get users query, and we will also need the primary card right here. So let's just use our primary card, and we are going to be grabbing that from our primary card. Okay, so now inside there, let's just get our data, and let's just destructure that, and I'm gonna just change the name of that to like visitors, and it's gonna be coming from where, from the use get users query. And inside this div, let me just remove that from here, and let's just provide first of all the h2, and I'm gonna just say like real time or real time in lowercase, and then we would have to also write a paragraph which will say like update live, and also we would have another div which will not say anything at all, but we are going to be just styling there in a few seconds. Now let me just provide h2, and which will just say like visitors, and then the length from that visitors, length, and then also finally we just have to write a subscribe, SUBSCRIBE. While I add classes to these, I want you to subscribe to also my YouTube channel as well. Okay, so now let me just add classes to each of them. So I'm gonna just fast forward the video, and now let me just add there for the final one right here. So we just added classes to let me just highlight. So we just added classes to all of their divs. Okay, so yeah, that will look cool, I can totally guarantee that. But now let me just write my HR, and now underneath there let's just also print our primary card and close that, save my file, and that was the end. And here you can see we have our primary card right here. You can provide even more details to that, and we are getting the primary card. And where in the world is that coming from? We have a primary card. Let's just check this out. And why in the world we're not taking care of the primary card? I thought this is going to be the last component, but we also have to take care of this primary card as well. So yeah, now let me just do that. Okay, so the first thing which I want to do is that I wanted to import something from, let's just go to 4 time, let's just go to 4 time, and I'm gonna go ahead and go to the API, and then the users. So we are going to be grabbing what do we call it, the use get users query. And now let me just create an instance of that, or even destructure our data, and I'm going to be just passing the visitor and use get users query. And now let me just execute that. And for this div inside there, we are going to be just creating our h2, and I'm going to just say like congratulations, and I'm going to also provide the paragraph which will say like you have this amount of visitors, and if we have that, we're going to be getting the link from the new users, and then watching your content. There we go. And now let me just add classes to both of them. And first of all, I'm going to be adding classes to this one, and now let me just add classes to this one. So now let me just save that, and here you can see we are now getting our congratulations. And now let's just click on the movies, and that was our entire project, and that was a beast. Finally. Now I have to do a lot of work, like I have to edit these videos, and then I'm gonna go ahead and put them on my YouTube channel. So yeah, if you like my content, so feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and please follow me on GitHub. Please, I'm saying please, I'm begging you, please follow me on GitHub. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will do my best to provide more high quality content, more than this project, and we're going to be creating more projects soon. So if you have any idea for a specific course, or I don't know, for just a specific video, or I don't know, for a project or something like that, so drop them in the comment section, and I'm gonna do my best to make a specific separate course on there. Okay, so we can go to the dashboard now. We can also go to the profile, we can change everything, and we can totally log out, and we can also register. So yeah, that was everything, and thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for watching my content. Love you all, and see you in the next course. Bye bye.